We can't go into campus, and MBA is all about peer-to-peer learning. We need to be with our friends. We need to communicate. That is all this is about. But once this actually started, it's pretty exciting. So I would say we are the first batch that that is going through an online MBA course. So it was pretty exciting for me because everything that would happen on the campus is going on right now, even though it's online, and it's actually fun to watch.
Hello, viewers. We have with us Mr. Ajay. He's from Kerala, Trivandrum. He's one of the guy who was scored 97.87 percentile in the CAT 2019. Ajay, welcome.
Thanks a lot, Dheeraj. Thank you for having me here.
Can you briefly tell about your family background?
Yeah, sure. So my father, he's a scientist at ISRO. So he works in works at LPSC in Trivandrum. And my mom, she retired a few months back as the principal of a higher secondary school, government school. And I have a brother who just completed his B.Ed and is preparing for his NET exam. He's planning to go into the teaching field like my mom. So that is it. That's my family.
Yeah. Ajay, you said that you are doing MBA from IFT Delhi.
Yes, yes.
So does IFT accept CAT or they have got their own test?
Actually, IFT has a separate test of its own. So they don't accept CAT score. So we had to give a separate exam, and the whole process was different.
After the entrance examination, what are the different rounds IFT conducts?
Yeah, sure. So even the exam was a lot different from CAT. The pattern of the exam was different. We have GK for IFT, which is something new, and post that, and also the cutoff is a bit on the higher range because the number of seats is very low. And post the shortlisting, the first round, then we had a group discussion at different centers across India. Post the group discussion, we had a personal interview round. So these were the rounds we had for IFT, I remember, and it was a really good process actually, a really interesting process to win.
IFT has got two campuses. One is there in Delhi and the other one is in Calcutta, right?
Yes.
Does the admission team consist of different people or can consist of the same people for both the campuses?
I'm actually from the Calcutta campus, not the Delhi campus. So all the processes are the same. Even so, I am a part of IIFT. So we don't have this differentiation of campuses. It's just a matter of division of seats.
Okay.
So all the other processes, they are the same. Even the faculty, all the processes that happen on campus after joining, it's the same for both the campuses. It's just it's in two different locations. That's the only thing there.
Does it focus on finance, marketing, or it focus on the foreign education?
Okay. So the flagship program of IFT, which I am in, is MBA in International Business.
Okay.
And there is a lot of focus on trade. So it's the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, right? But in the first year, it's just like a normal MBA. We have all our subjects. But when we get into the second year, we have this option of choosing the majors, as in like all other colleges. But here we have the option of going into trade, taking up trade. Then actually, it's a really good place to be if you are interested in trade, foreign trade, international business. So we have a lot of subjects that go into the depth of trade. And also in our college, we have a lot of research programs in trade specific. So there are a lot of programs which are conducted with tie-up with the Ministry of Commerce. So we have faculty who work for the government also. So that is a good exposure for people who have an interest in trade. So that is what differentiates IFT from the other colleges, I would say.
Okay, so IFT has got two campuses, but the managing team would just be the same.
It's the same.
Admission committee, placement committee is just the same, right?
Everything is the same. It comes under the banner of IIFT. It's just the location. I'm actually part of the Calcutta campus.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is not much of a difference. It's just according to the list that comes out after the interview. The first few people will go to the Delhi campus, the rest the Calcutta campus. That's the only difference there.
I do understand that. What are the different specializations do we have in IFT?
We have all specializations which are there in other colleges plus trade. That is the only thing. So we have marketing, finance, we have operations, supply chain, and of course trade.
I'm sure you must be like other top B schools of India. You must be having a lot of committees, and that committees would be managed by the student itself. Is it
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, definitely. So in MBA, everything is run by students, right?
Right.
Apart from the admission process, once the college starts, everything is handed over to the students. So we do have all those different kinds of committees, like the media committee. We have a student body which is called the IMF. Then, of course, the placement committee. Then a lot of specialization oriented committees like the marketing. For marketing, we have then for supply chain, and especially we have a really good committee for trade because that is our trademark, right? So
Right.
we have
Right.
a good committee called, it's a club called Blash, so which is a trade specific club, and a lot of other stuff also like the arts and sports committee, everything that you can find in any other college.
Primarily, as you said, that IFT is basically famous for trade, right?
Mhm.
Does government agencies also come down and recruit the people from IFT, or it is just the private corporate bodies which recruits the people from IFT?
See, as I said, I'm not really aware of how the placement process work because I've just been one and a half months into the program.
Okay.
But I do know that we have a lot of tie-up with the government bodies, like
Right.
that, especially for the research programs that happen. We have faculty who do research along with government bodies, so we get insights from them, and we also get a chance to work with them once we are in college. Collaborate on projects that they are working on. So that is all I can say at this moment because I haven't been to the campus actually yet.
Hmm. Great. How is that you are managing with the online classes? Is it becoming very tough, or you have managed to cope up with this change?
It's okay. I'm a bit of on both sides here because at first we all have this feeling like we can't go into campus and MB is all about peer-to-peer learning. We need to be with our friends. We need to communicate. That is all this is about. But once this actually started, it's pretty exciting.
Hmm.
So I would say we are the first batch that is going through an online MBA course. So it was pretty exciting for me because everything that would happen on the campus is going on right now, even though it's online. And it's actually fun to watch and it's exciting. So I've been part of a lot of B school competitions and I've also won a few athletes in a few competitions. And being part of a competition online is a totally different experience. So it has its own drawbacks and also benefits. But since we can't work as a team together, but we managed to. We are just finding out new platforms to communicate, trying to collaborate remotely. So it's exciting, but nevertheless, waiting for a chance to get back to campus, meet all the new friends. It's a very diverse batch, us. So we have people from all age groups. So it will be a good experience to be with them, actually, right?
Because of the COVID reason, this year almost all the colleges have started the classes little late, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Someone has started in the month of July, someone has started in the month of August, and even in September as well. Is that IFT also has gone back a bit? I mean, started a bit late.
No, actually, for us, it was not a problem on classes. Yes, it started a bit late, I think, because usually it starts around mid-July. But for us, it was the first week of August. So there was not much of a difference. And see, again, we didn't go back because it's online, right? So it was a lot easier. So we could complete all our portions and our exams. The exams got delayed a bit because of COVID. That is the only thing. But again, that's also online. They can conduct it at any time. I'm going through the exams right now, so we haven't had a problem yet.
How is the preparation going on for internship project this year?
So actually, we have been helped a lot by the people at the college. So how we are being trained is, and how we are asked to train ourselves is, everything should be remote. You prepare for interviews online, and even if you get an internship, because for this year the people had to work from home, right? So we have been asked to prepare for that atmosphere. Maybe even when we go for an internship, we don't know how the situation is going to pan out. So it might be remote working. So we have been asked to prepare in front of our laptops as much as possible. Then the rest, everything is the same. Going through all our basics, getting ourselves prepped really well. and the process is going on right now. So
Okay. How you are managing with the peer-to-peer learning? Because I'm sure you must be the part of some groups. How do you
mhm.
coordinate that part?
We haven't had any problem with connecting to people because we ourselves we are connecting on a very good platform, right? So we use Google Meet most often. For classes, we use MS Teams. So we haven't had a problem in that way. But the only thing we are missing out is interacting with them personally. So
Okay.
when you are part of a club, so that is a good chance to create a group of people, right? A group of friends who actually work together. So that is the only thing we miss out. Apart from that, everything is going fine. We are conducting a lot of events online, and that has turned out to be more efficient actually. So we can get guests from all over the
The world.
country. Yeah. So we just need to figure out a time that is convenient for all. That is the only thing. So we don't need any other resources. So that has been going on really well. We conducted a lot of events online itself. But the only thing is we get a bit bored because we are not really actually there. We dream of being in, we have a really good auditorium there in our campus, and we haven't had a chance to visit that yet. So that is the only thing we miss out.
How you are coping up with the case study part? Because case study is one of the important aspect of these leading these schools.
So I'll just give you an example. So there was this one case study which I was a part. It's a case study. It was a case study competition, and that was Born with Pidilite. So I was one of the national finalists of the competition. So there again, the problem came in the first stage when we had to, for every case study, we need to do customer research.
So,
So that is the only part where we faced the problem because we couldn't actually go out and talk to people. But again, an advantage I saw was all the three of my team. So we were based in different locations. One from North, one from Bangalore, and one from Trivandrum. So we could get ideas from almost across the country. So that was a really good thing that we saw when we did the competition. And that is it. Apart from that, we didn't face much issues except for that one part where we wanted to go out. And that would have been even nicer if we could go as a team, all three of us together. So that is the only thing I felt.
okay. Along with IFT, what are the other colleges option you had?
Yeah. So for me, actually, CAT was what I focused on the most. So IIFT just happened in that sort of way. I just gave all exams like IIFT, XLRI, SAT, and CAT. So what happened is after CAT, I got a few calls. So I'm in the general category. I'm an engineering male, so you know how it is. It's difficult, but still, I got interviews from IIM CAP, all colleges under CAP. Then from a few baby IIMs. So that was it, and I went to the interview, and I converted a few. But again, since IIFT gives me this option of going into a very different field, which is trade, and I'm getting an MBA degree of international business. So I thought, why not IIFT?
Mhm. Certainly. Do you have any prior experience before this MBA program? I mean, have you worked after your BTech for some
Yeah.
company?
So I did my BTech in electronics and communication. So I graduated in 2018, and I was an entrepreneur. So I started up while doing my engineering in my second year of college. We had a product-based company, so that went on till 2019 when I decided to give my CAT. So I have 2 years of work experience in my startup.
Okay. What was this basically about? If you can.
Um, okay, so it was a product-based company. So what happened is the idea which we had for our college main project. So I thought, why not convert this into a product? So we spent 2 years on extensive research trying to uh, get it into a product. So it's difficult converting a project into a product. So that took us some time, but in the end, I managed to get a patent for our product, and I decided that was it. It's time for my MBA now.
Wow.
So, yeah, that is what happened.
Wonderful.
Actually, there were six of us when we started.
Okay.
From both so I was an electronics engineer, so we had people from computer science also. So it was an IoT product. We had both hardware and software, an app also. So almost. So we had 6 of us.
Okay, is it being funded by you people only, or you got funding from somebody else?
It was bootstrapped at first, but then we had a few um, government schemes which we applied for, and we got funding from the Kerala Startup Mission for the initial stages to develop the product. So after which, once I obtained the patent, I decided I'll go for my MBA now.
Project is still on, it has been kept on hold, and then you will restart after your MBA, or the other people are continuing with the project? What is it?
No, so my aim was to get the patent for the idea, just and I need to figure out a way to publish this and get it out in the world. The idea. So that was my sole aim. My dream is to end up in sales and marketing.
Why are you looking for sales and marketing? I mean, you had 50 different specializations available in the market. Why to go for sales or marketing?
Yeah. So as you might have understood right now, I love talking.
I
I
do.
tend to talk a lot. So sales gives me that opportunity to connect with a lot of people, and I love field job. And I've had a few experience. Like I worked as a BDA in Byju's app. Then as a sales executive at Decathlon. They were all part-time jobs, but I really enjoyed that. So I feel I am a sales kind of guy. Not really marketing, but purely sales. So
Okay. I see that a lot of people are sales averse. They don't want to go to sales because they love it. Many of them want to go to sales just because they feel that maybe finance is not my cup of tea, so let's go for marketing. So is that how people should approach marketing, and what is the reason for you to be so passionate about sales?
yeah, so I also see that a lot. So when it comes to sales and marketing, there is also this factor that companies actually pay a lot for sales and marketing roles, right? Um, but what I feel is unless you are really passionate about sales, it can be really tiring because I've been in that. Uh, so that was a typical door-to-door sales job which I was in. So I had a lot of people with me who did just for the money, and they ended up getting really tired. So that is what happens to a lot of people here. Also, I feel so unless you have that passion, and also see it's for a bit of extroverted people, right? Others, I think it will be a bit difficult for them to manage out in the field.
How you are managing the daily basis routine, because the classes might be starting at very early in the morning, and by the time you could have completed the project it could have been late night. How tough was it to manage the initial month at IFT?
Yeah, sure. The initial month at B schools, it's a bit hectic. But again, being online was an advantage because I'm at the comfort of my home. So there is nothing else to be distracted about. I just need to get up in the morning, sit in front of my lab, and it's done. The day is done. We won't even know how time speeds. So I wouldn't say it was as hectic as it would have been if it was on campus.
Right.
Yeah, so I had nothing else to worry about. All my parents were also there with me on throughout, so I just had to manage this one thing. I think it was a bit easier for us.
Any message which you want to say to the people who will go for an MBA after you, maybe the one who is appearing for the CAT examination this year? So any message for these people who is appearing for the CAT, and how should they approach their further education? Any suggestion
Yeah,
from your side based on your experience?
sure, sure. The first thing I would want to say is a lot of people are skeptic about joining MBA right now because they don't know how the situation is going to pan out. But I would say it's actually interesting to be a part of that batch, not knowing what is going to happen in the future. It's not like in the book. So I would say not to doubt about it because a lot of new opportunities are coming up. I am seeing that right now. So just clear those doubts first before you give your exam. And from the exam point of view, CAT has a new pattern this year, right? It's now a 2 hour exam. So again, that is a new challenge for the students who are writing it this year. But just don't focus only on CAT, which is what I did. Because for me, it turned IIFT was not an option for me at first. But only once I gave the exam, I even got a better percentile than CAT for IIFT. So a lot depends on that day, on how we are performing that day. So my advice would be give as many exams as possible. All the top exams, CAT, IIFT, SAT, everything. I could also convert SAT. So I would say give all the exams. You don't know which is for you, and all these colleges are at par, I would say.
Mm.
So so that is one of that. I think that is it. So people say that during the last few weeks of the CAT, you should take it slow. I had a lot of people giving insights at that time, but for me, I spent a lot of time. This was the most crucial time. What I did is I just gave mocks. That is it. Because I had already brushed up on the basics in the last 2 months, and this period was only about mocks and improving my percentage. So CAT is always about playing to your strengths. So at this time, you can understand which part or which section you are most um, good
Good
at,
at.
and yeah, which part you have to work on. So for me, English was not a problem, and quant was also on the better side, but DALR was the most crucial thing for me. I couldn't manage to get above 80 percentile even at this time. So what I did is I spent a lot of time on just solving DALR sets. So CAT has this habit of sets tend to repeat. So what I did is I spent a lot of time on solving previous year CAT and DALR only. So I would say don't waste time on quant or English if you are good at it, because it's going to work out fine.
Mm.
For CAT, it's really important that you score well for all three, right? It's not about the total score. You need to have at least about 95 percentile for all sections to get
Right.
called. I'm not considering any reservations here. Uh,
Right.
Other than that, so I would say give your best during this time. Give mocks. That is the only thing, and analyze where you went wrong. Improve your sections which you feel is your weak in.
Thank you so much, Ajay. Have a great time ahead and do well in IFT.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.